Coming up on today's show, we're going to preview the season opener between the Knicks and the Celtics at Madison Square Garden. But I need all of you to join us this Wednesday as we are going to be live on the channel for one of our world-famous watch parties. We'll be live an hour before tip-off, so subscribe, turn your notifications on, and join the real ones for a watch party. Yo, what up, everybody? You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Let's dive into this preview. Knicks, Celtics, opening night. I cannot wait. We are just a couple of days away. The game will obviously tip off this Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's get it on. The Celtics, they enter this one as 3-point favorites. They will be -3. And the total over-under is 223.5. And that's kind of what I expected it to be. I'm honestly surprised that the spread is not a little bit more, but opening night at the Garden, anything is possible. Let's take a look at the Knicks roster as they have solidified the top 15 guys that they are going to roll with. The starting lineup, I am expecting to be the exact same as it was last year. Jalen Brunson, Quentin Grimes, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson. You got Immanuel Quickley, Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, as well as Isaiah Hartenstein is really your backups. And then your third string guys. Deuce McBride, Ryan Arcidiacono, Daquan Jeffries, Dylan Windler, and Jericho Sims. Those are the 15 players that are going to be on this roster opening night. What about the Boston Celtics? Their expected starting lineup is as follows. Drew Holiday, new acquisition from the Milwaukee Bucks, got traded from the Bucks to the Portland Trail Blazers, and that's where we are. Now you got Jaylen Brown going to be playing that two-guard spot. Jayson Tatum, one of the best in the league there. Al Horford at the center. And then former Knick, Kristaps Porzingis. You got Derek White off the bench. Got a couple of shooters. The Celtics are definitely more of a top-heavy team. They don't really have a backup center. It's Luke Cornett, who was once a New York Knick. They're an extremely top-heavy team. They got a good top six with Derek White. Peyton Pritchard's going to play a lot of minutes, but they're pretty thin at the backup wing spot as well as the backup big spot. Before I share my keys to victory, if the Knicks want to get off to a 1-0 record, who do you got? Who do you got winning this ball game? Is it the Knicks? Is it the Celtics? Type NYK for the Knicks, BOS for the Boston Celtics. I'll give my prediction of the score and who's going to win at the tail end of the video. Let's talk about how the Knicks can get there. Number one key has to be finding a way to slow down Jayson Tatum. Look, we know that as Knicks fans that the Knicks don't really have a wing defender to match up with Jayson Tatum, and there's a reason that Tatum had 40 points on the Knicks back on March 5th of last year, 40-point game. Look, he's a tough matchup, and there's a reason that he's a perennial all-pro, all-NBA type of guy and someone that's soon going to be the highest-paid player in this league. Gives you 30 points per night, just about 9 rebounds, which is a lot higher than you would think. He's actually a really good rebounder, almost 5 assists, really efficient player, 46% from the deck and 35% from downtown. He's really good at getting to his spots. He takes a lot of three-pointers. He makes a lot of three-pointers, and I'm expecting him on opening night to be extremely aggressive and trying to put the ball in the basket. He's someone that really carries this Celtics offense, and the Knicks really lack a true wing defender. I love Josh Hart, but he's 6'5". I love Quentin Grimes, but he's 6'5". You don't have that 6'7", 6'8", 6'9" rangy wing defender that can stick a guy like Jayson Tatum, which tells me you're going to see probably RJ Barrett on him for a good bit of the night. I'm sure Quentin Grimes will get his crack at him. I'm sure Josh Hart will get a crack at him. But when you have Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, and Jayson Tatum 1 through 3, the Knicks are going to have to put Brunson on somebody. They're going to have to put Barrett on somebody. I'm sure Barrett will be trying to guard his former Dookie in Jayson Tatum. I think another key for this Knicks offense is getting Julius Randle going early. We called him first quarter Randle time and time again last year, and the evidence was there. He averaged 9.1 points per first quarter last year, and it always seemed like when Randle came out hot, knocking down those three-pointers, getting the offense going, it resulted in a Knicks win. And I'm expecting for the Knicks to draw some plays for him early and often. And Randle, honestly, has played fairly well. I don't even know what I was trying to say there. Fairly well against the Boston Celtics. Last year versus them, he averaged 30 points per game in the 3 or 4 matchups that they did match up against. It's a tough matchup for them. I don't think Porzingis is a good guy to guard Julius Randle. I think he can beat him off the bounce and get to the cup. And I also think he can play with his food on the perimeter. I'm looking for big 30, low cut, Julius Randle to have a big game at MSG opening night. I'll get to my other keys coming up in a second, but first, I got to give you some keys. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use the promo code CLNS, and PrizePicks is going to hook you up with a 100% deposit match up to $100. If you enjoy playing daily fantasy sports and you want to do it with the best place, it's PrizePicks, where you can win real money and withdraw at any time. All you do is select more or less on a projected player's stat line. I already have my lineup in for Wednesday's night game, and if you get it in within a couple of hours, PrizePicks is going to pretty much give you a freebie. Do you think Steph Curry is going to score 1 point? If you do, you select more on him. I'm expecting a big game from Jalen Brunson. I'm going to include points and assists in that one. I think he could be looking to be a little bit more of a playmaker in game one. I think Randall's going to have a big game. I think Porzingis against his old ball club is going to try to show the Knicks at home against those fans that maybe trading me wasn't a good idea. So I'm going with Moores on all of my picks for this week's lineup on opening night. You can roll with my picks. You can fade my picks. But if you play daily fantasy, do with PrizePicks. We would appreciate it. Awesome sponsor here. We want to keep them around, and the only way is for you guys to help us out and get hooked up. PrizePicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. Key number 3, just let Immanuel Quickley cook. Let Immanuel Quickley do what he does. We know that Quickley is one of the best players in the NBA off the bench. Last year finished second in Sixth Man of the Year. And I think against a team like Boston, he showed you time and time again that he can get it done. Last year in the 4 ball games versus them, he averaged 20.5 points per game. You see the numbers on screen. And he was extremely efficient as well. And that's with him not really playing all that much in that first matchup against Boston. The first matchup last year against Boston, he only had like 13 points, only played a couple of minutes, or only played 13 minutes, didn't have that many points. But when you had the game in double overtime that he had to close out the season, it's going to be tough for him. And he likes playing against Boston. I'm going to call him Immanuel Quickley is the Celtics' daddy. We saw what he does. And without Malcolm Brogdon now, and I know they have Derek White, who's a really good defender on the perimeter coming off the bench, Quickley should be able to cook even more. I want to see Brunson and Quickley play a good bit together on Wednesday night. I think they really just gel well together. I think they complement each other. I think they make life for each other a little bit easier. I want to see those guys for an extended period of time this Wednesday night. I also think you need to get RJ some easy looks. We know that RJ is a very hot and cold player. That was evident in the preseason. He'd have a really good half. He'd have a really bad half. We saw that last year. Sometimes he'd be terrible in the first half, and he'd close the game strong. And I'm going to continue to say it. RJ Barrett is the X factor for the New York Knicks this year. The fastest way for the Knicks to become a legit contender in the Eastern Conference is if RJ Barrett rises to the occasion, plays to the dollar amount that he is being paid. Highest paid player on this team. It's time for you to step up. It's year 5. You're not a kid anymore. You're going to be 24 at the end of the season. I don't want to hear the age excuse anymore. Come out and show somebody that you worked on some this offseason and give some hope to these Knicks fans that may not be too strong in the development of your game. I think he could be a good player in this league. I want to see the Knicks getting involved early, get a feel for him going, let him get, a good opportunity to make some easy shots, and let's see what happens down the stretch. I think the most important key for the Knicks, probably should have put this number 1, is defend the three-point line. Earlier in the season last year, the Knicks did not defend the three-point line. And if you've noticed, Tom Thibodeau's defenses get better and better as the season goes on. But on opening night, defending that three-point line will be huge. The Boston Celtics shot the second most threes in the NBA last year, and they made them at a 37.7% clip, which was the 6th best in the NBA. So not only do they take a lot of threes, they make a lot of threes. And they're going to run lineups where everybody on the court at one time can shoot threes. You're going to have to defend the perimeter. You're going to have to run them off the line. You're going to have to get back in transition. You're going to have to fight through picks. They're a damn good team. It's going to be tough. But if you do anything that we talked about in this video, it's defend that three-point line and don't let them get red hot from there. Because if they do, they could run you out of your own building on Wednesday night. If you want the Knicks to beat the Celtics, I need you to hit that thumbs up icon right now. Just proven by science. The more likes we get on this video, the more likely it is the Knicks are going to get a dub. So if you want the Knicks to go 1-0 and beat the Boston Celtics, hit that thumbs up icon. My prediction for Wednesday night's game. The New York Knicks, they start 1-0. Give me the Knicks 112-110 over Boston. I think Jalen Brunson's going to get hot in that fourth quarter and bring it home for our New York Knicks. Remember, you can always give me a follow over on Twitter, or I guess on X now. Someone changed that. I think that was Trace. Had to have been Trace. Give me a follow on X at @MarshallGreen_. I'm always going to call it Twitter. We can go tweet over there if they still call it that, at @MarshallGreen_.